Today I'm going to show you how to install our Duramax Fuel Filter Delete DFD 4000. This kit is for 2001 through 2016 Duramax trucks that are equipped with a fast fuel system. Now the reason you might want to delete your factory fuel filter that's under the hood is number one, in the long run it's going to save you money because you don't have to change that factory fuel filter out during the normal service interval. Number two, we've included a fuel pressure gauge port right here on the housing, and it's going to make the installation of your fuel pressure gauge extremely simple. And number three, you're not going to have to go through the headache of replacing that fuel filter under the hood. So what do you say we get this installation started? So you're going to need to start by removing the factory intake tube that's above the fuel filter. Okay, now that the intake tube is out of your way, place a drain pan under the fuel filter and loosen the drain valve on the bottom of the water and fuel sensor. Once the fuel filter is done draining, tighten your drain valve, disconnect the electrical connector on the water and fuel sensor, and remove the factory fuel filter. Once the fuel filter is removed from the fuel filter housing, it can be completely removed from the truck by accessing it through the passenger side inner fender well. Okay, after the fuel filter has been drained and removed from the truck, we can go ahead and remove the factory water and fuel sensor, and that is going to be placed in the fuel filter delete housing. Now before you place it into the fuel filter delete housing, make sure you check the condition of that O-ring. Make sure there's not any rips or tears that are going to create a fuel leak. And thread this into our delete housing. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten that up. Okay, and once that's tight, go ahead and make sure you don't have a pinched O-ring and it's good and sealed. Now take the 1/8 inch NPT pipe plug. If you're not installing a fuel pressure gauge, make sure you thread your plug into the sensor port. Now take your O-ring supplied with the fuel filter delete, put that in the O-ring groove. Now it's always a good idea to put a thin layer of grease around that filter O-ring. Now as you can see, for viewing purposes, I do have the fuel filter housing removed off of the truck so you can see the two T20 Torx screws. So, using your Torx bit, go ahead and remove your Torx screws. Now we can remove the spring and check ball housing, and be careful not to lose the O-rings that are located beneath this housing. You can see it just fell out. Here are the check ball and spring that you will be removing from that fuel filter housing. Now that we have those removed, I'm going to reinstall my O-ring. And reinstall the spring housing. Once you have both screws reinstalled, we can go ahead and tighten those back up. Now we're going to reinstall the intake tube and tighten both clamps. Once the intake tube is reinstalled, go ahead and prime the fast system and check for any fuel leaks. If you guys have any questions about your Duramax filter delete, please don't hesitate to give our technical service department a call. They'll be happy to help.